Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition. Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition. This is the show that made Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, want to use her powers to hide from our questions.
Rude.
That doesn't stop her from hearing, Tim.
No, but then we can't see her to keep asking.
Exactly.
I understand.
She gets it. She gets it.
You see, I would be the guy asking the questions to the invisible chair. Well, the chair.
The visible chair containing the invisible person. Anywho, this is off to a swimming start.
Hey, we've had worse.
We have.
On the plus side, I have my YouTube turned off this week, so there's no echo in the background.
Look at that! You're not going to blame any of us for echoes.
Exactly. I learned it did.
You're smart.
Well, before we get into tonight's show, we need to say our thanks to our show partner, Level Up Sabers.
Let's roll that beautiful nerd footage. And links for Level Up Sabers can be found in this show notes comment section. You see it on the bottom of your screen. Get a lightsaber. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. That's right. All right, guys. So please take a moment to do what the show notes say down right there about scrolling along the bottom of the screen. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a moment to do that. Your subscription helps us to continue to grow, get awesome guests each and every week on our Friday podcast releases, and get cool guys to come and talk with us on our live show tonight, like the people we have waiting in our back room. However, if you haven't already, we also have a Patreon page. Now, that Patreon page is kind of cool because not only do you get to see some exclusive content, but you also get early access to every one of our Friday episodes, usually on Wednesday morning. We try to get them up by Wednesday morning, Wednesday at lunchtime at the absolute latest. But you at least get a couple days head start on everybody else. You get to see everything earlier than everybody. And you get to be part of our Patreon community, which gets you cool perks and gets you some awesome content that nobody else gets. That's our Stargate reviews. We've been doing that for a while now. And I was supposed to, speaking about how awesome it is, I was supposed to put the episode up today. I may have forgotten. So I'll do that later tonight. And,
one job, Tim.
I did. I had one job and I failed tremendously. So, but I will get that up very soon for you guys as soon as, I'm not like talking into a mic with other people and all that kind of stuff.
You also get to see bits and pieces that were cut out from the actual interviews as well.
That's right. Awesome behind the scenes stuff, bonus content that nobody else gets to see. And as it says underneath my name, I am the blooper specialist. I make lots of bloopers for you guys and not even on purpose. They just kind of happen.
Where did you get these titles?
They're a thing. John says, sorry, I'm late. Is it clobbering time yet? Very nearly. We will have one of our guests coming out shortly that we were going to talk about some Fantastic Four with and some things like that. One more thing before we bring out our guest. Now, in the last couple of weeks, we had Vanessa Marshall, who's the amazing voice actress that does the voice behind Hera Syndulla in Star Wars Rebels. She was kind enough to send us these pictures to put them up for auction. These are signed photos of her characters from Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars. She was Rook Kast in Star Wars Clone Wars, and of course Hera Syndulla in Star Wars Rebels. Now, we have links for those in the show notes. You'll be able to find those on an eBay page. Those auctions, 100% of the proceeds after, shipping costs and everything are handled, 100% of the proceeds go directly to a charity called Wish Upon a Teen, which you can find at wishuponateen.org. An amazing charity who helps out sick kids when they need it most, when they've had extended hospital stays. So please go check that out. And if you don't want signed merch, if that's not your thing, please consider just going to wishuponateen.org and making a direct deposit to them today. they could use all the support we can give them. So that's it for that.
Sweet. Well, let's welcome. Let's welcome our guest to the show.
We need
Wasn't
to
you
get
this
him.
time?
Was it me this time? This is awesome. I like it when other people screw up.
No, apparently the nick that the Iowa testing facility has replaced our original nick with is now glitching.
Glitchnik. Okay, now you just look like that gif of the guy sitting at the desk throwing the papers around.
I love now too that your hair is no longer where it's supposed to be, which just makes it even better. Anyway, we have guests.
Right. We have guests. Let's bring them in.
All right, let's welcome our former guest and friend of the show, Joshua Schubart.
Welcome, Josh.
Oh, what's up?
Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the FSF PopCast. Welcome back.
Hi, it's good to be back.
We're so glad to have you here. We're going to have, we got some stuff to talk about with you. We got a couple other people we're going to bring in, and then we're going to start chatting about it.
Sure. I'm much less bearded than last time I was here. It's very strange to be
Yes, much less facials.
much less facials, more white shirt, but it's a good shirt.
It's on topic.
It's
So
on, it's on brand.
exactly. Very good.
Our other good friend of the show and collaborator, we have Jason Momoa.
I wish.
We can really have Momoa here.
I wish too.
Oh,
Bomb
man.
F. Bomb F. What's
This
up,
is-
everybody?
This is what happens when you order Jason Momoa on Wish.
Oh, man.
You get Jason from Ohio.
I don't disagree.
And we've also got Justin from the Three Geeks podcast
No.
as well. So Jason and Justin from Three Geeks. Before we jump into tonight's topics, let's give everybody a chance to figure out where they can go to follow you guys on social media to find out more about you, things like that. Josh, would you tell everybody where they can find you?
Sure. You can find me on literally everything at Josh_Schubart. That's my thing everywhere. I also have a website, joshuaschubart.com, which will also hook you up with everything.
All right. Very, very good. And of course, Jason and Justin, what about Three Geeks? Where can people find you guys on Three Geeks?
At Three Geeks Podcast, everywhere that you find podcasts or internets.
Simple enough.
I love
All right.
Or internets.
All the internet.
All over the internets. I mean, that's the important thing. All right, very cool. Let's see. So Josh, tell us about the short film that you've got coming up this Wednesday, May 31st.
Sure. I have made a short film / guerrilla audition for the MCU, specifically for the Fantastic Four, which I think you all should have seen already. Like I've already emailed it all to you guys.
Yep.
I'm very happy with it. It's called The Transformation of Ben Grimm. It's a short film. It's about four minutes long. And the whole idea of it was to make kind of like a mini Marvel film. So it has the main film, and then it has an after credit scene. And then it has everything that you would expect to see when you watch a Marvel movie. And the whole idea behind it was that, sure, a lot of people know who I am from Amazon's The Tick or things of that nature. But at the moment, I'm not a household name. And Marvel at the moment is all about household names, and that's fine. That's just how the industry is at the moment. So I guess I'm trying to disrupt the way that it works, and I'm putting it on the internet. I have my agents and my manager just kind of emailing it in to the people at Marvel, just trying to get people to see it. I'm very proud of it. In my opinion, it's very good. I hired a really kick-ass prosthetics artist named Sydney Sawyer. She's worked with the Mouse before in the parks. She's made things for Batu, for Avatar Land, and a bunch of other stuff that I can't say because it's locked behind an NDA. But her work is exquisite. And we decided to go our own way with the way that it looks. So we're not. It's not an orange guy. It's a more of a natural rock formation guy. But I wanted to do so I really deeply connect with this character, and I think larger folks as a whole maybe do, just because he's a dude that is kind of craggly on the outside, maybe kind of scary to some people on the outside, but on the inside, he's a real smushy mush, right? He has a lot of really, really deep and intense feelings, and I wanted to try to take this short film and show him in a way that we've never seen him before, like really experiencing some real fear, really experiencing some real anger in the moment at the fact that he's transforming. And he's one of the few characters in Marvel that cannot, absolutely under any circumstances, unless you're in the early 2000s movies, he can't change back. And that's a real mental health thing, right? That's a real thing. It's like, how do you accept yourself for who you are now? How do you move forward? And how do you give to the world what you've been given when you kind of hate yourself for what you've been given, right? It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It made me laugh out loud a couple times, especially the card playing scene.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just the way that it was presented and the way you're sitting there, what you're wearing, just the whole vibe of the card game just was really, really very funny. And yeah, just the banter that was going.
That was on purpose. Like, Ben plays a lot of card games in the comic books, and it's a huge nod to the fans, right? Like,
right.
If you've read any of the books, like, there's some really famous books where, like, the covers are Ben at a card game, or the Thing at a card game, and also just the idea of, because Wolverine is like classically angry all the time, so I just thought it would be funny to have him there being mad, and just being able to kind of play into the whole, like, New Yorker kind of being like a poo-poo face, like, and antagonizing a dude at the poker table. That scene was completely improvised, by the way. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was really good. It not just in the fact that it was funny. I thought it was really good in the way that, because I might be speaking out of turn, but I don't think that there's another Fantastic Four thing with Ben Grimm in it where they actually show the true transformation of him going, what it was like. Because if I remember the original Fantastic Four movie, not the Roger Corman movie, but the original one with, with Captain America in it.
Michael Chiklis,
yeah, with Michael Chiklis. Thank you. I was trying to think of the actor's name, but it's like he woke up and he was that,
right?
And so yeah, he was a little troubled after that, but it never showed the pain or the trauma that maybe he was going through the transformation. And so I thought your short film does a really good job of that. I do want to play real quick your TikTok just as a teaser for this. Let's play that real quick if I can get this to come up.
Sure.
So yeah, let's see now how to remove that. There we go. Okay, I've never actually done that before, so I was trying to see if it was going to work, and it did.
Work.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, I actually remember the 1994. That's the Roger Corman.
Yeah.
It's really the best one, to be honest.
Actually, we talked about that a little bit when we had Alex Hyde White on the show a little while back. Alex Hyde White was Reed Richards in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but
So you mentioned the prosthetics and the decision to head towards kind of a more earthy tone for the thing. How long were you, I guess, in the chair? Was it a long process to kind of map out the transition? And that was kind of one of the things I was most excited to see through the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with that, man. Like as like a Fantastic Four nerd myself, like just being able to accurately depict that in a way with a practical look made me really, really happy. So it was actually split in 2 days. We shot this over the course of two days. So the mid transformation look happened one of the days, and then the total prosthetic day was the next day, which is where we shot the like ending scene, which was the cigar reveal,
Yeah.
and then the poker scene. I was in the chair for maybe like 2.5, 3 hours.
Sure.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not my first rodeo in like full head
I imagine not. Yeah.
prosthetics or whatever. I shot a pilot with Gilbert Gottfried that never went anywhere, where I played like a manatee, like a full-sized and manatee.
I'm really sad that didn't go anywhere now.
I
I
will
want
to
hear more about
send
that
you
later.
all of the clips for it, okay? So
Oh, please do.
yeah.
Oh, I have to see this now.
Yeah, you will see it. I will send it to you.
Oh, please do.
worry.
Yes. All of a sudden, I'm like Gilbert Gottfried and a
And a full-size manatee.
I'm in.
Yes, please. I'm
Go
in.
picture.
Yeah.
Go
Played
picture.
a rat. He was like an anthropomorphic giant
Oh.
rat. It was a crazy time. It was nuts. But one of the things that I got like praise for by the prosthetics artist was that I was really good at staying still while
It's important, I'm sure.
it was all being applied. And I was like, yeah, it's not my first rodeo being totally covered in stuff. But yeah, man, like that's how long it took. And I'm not gonna say that it was like the best, because it gets
Yeah.
really claustrophobic in there. And
bet.
like if you have any sort of like anything like mucus or like teary eyes or whatever, it gets trapped in your face.
Oof.
Which is,
Yeah.
but you know, it's worth it. It's worth it for the final product, you know.
It came out really well. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
Agreed, Justin. Agreed. I think that for me, and I'm going to go back to this, and I know I kind of talked about it just a second ago, but I think just being able to see that transformation, though, is a really important part of your short.
Yeah.
Because we've never seen that before,
No.
and to see the emotion that you put on display and how you emoted that and how you made that really be a part of the scene, because it wasn't just, I woke up and golly, look, I have rocks everywhere. It was, and being pissed off about it. It was, because I'd never thought about that, honestly, because every time I've ever seen it, it was just, visually, it's always just, oh, hey, he's a rock guy now, and look at that. And I try to ignore the other Fantastic Four movie, the one with Miles Teller in it, because I'd like to pretend like that never happened.
Yeah.
But
There were some good parts of that I will say. I mean,
the credits.
the credits. I mean, part of the look was inspired by that thing. Like, we liked the natural rock formation part of that, and also the lighting and the effect, and like how it was a little bit more dark and a little bit more moody. And we didn't pull any of the content, but we pulled a bit of the feel from it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that's exactly why I made it this way, Tim, is that we've never seen him have a rich emotional life moving through this transformation, much like a classic movie monster, which is kind of how it was shot, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like a classic horror film, because that's what it is, like, how do you in a human way move through some sort of traumatic transformation? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's very cool.
So, quick question. I was wondering because I mean, like the thing has so many, to your point, kind of emotional things going on with him as a character. Because is there any thought to, if this does well, to do another one maybe at the end of life of the Fantastic Four, right? Because unless the thing gets cured, he is immortal, right? So he's going to see the end of life of all of his friends and his family. So you could hypothetically do that Old Man Logan type of like film with the thing.
It's true, and you're not the first person to ask me for more, and that makes me very happy and makes me feel very, very, very grateful that like people are connecting with it in this way.
Yeah.
This was intentionally made to kind of like put the ball in Marvel's court, to be like, you know, no one's really done this other than Barry Kroger, and the way that he went about it is nothing like this. Like, I literally pulled in a team of people, an incredible team of people, like Jamal Solomon, who was the DP on this. He shot Empower on Disney Plus, so like he's worked with Marvel before. He's been in the company. He's worked with the brand.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, like just because I am so hooked into the industry, I do have folks that work in all aspects of it. And thank you, John. I really appreciate that. Tim, if you want to show it, you can show it live here. I put the link in the private chat for the YouTube.
Okay.
I got so excited about getting to see the whole thing again that my camera went fuzzy.
I gotta say, Josh, when I watched it, I didn't look at the runtime, and then when it was over, I was like, "What? I want more."
I know, man. I know. So we only thought that it was gonna be about 2 minutes long, right? So that it would be so easy to like put on all the social medias, have it go crazy viral quick. But then because the script itself is like 2 pages, it's 2 pages maybe, it's very short. And when I wrote it, I like even cut like a bunch of it out. But like in talking with Jamal, the DP, he brought me the idea. He was like, "Listen, man, like we got to do a poker scene. Like the Thing and poker are they're so intimate that either we do like a picture of this scene and we just put it on for the fans, because the fans are gonna really want to see something like that, because I've never seen something like that either, like in like film form."
Right.
And I was like, all right, let me think about it, you know, like, and then I was like, let's just do it. Let's make a post credit scene that's nearly as long as the actual film, and just let the fans have what they what they might want to have, right? Because I mean, like, I've been on both of your pods, and I know that conversations that we've had in the past is that I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of even everything that I've been on. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Tick. I'm a huge fan of the Marvel Universe. And I try to approach everything in that way. Like, what would I want to see if I was watching this? And if I have the power and the means and the option, I guess, to make something, why don't I make a thing that, you know, I would hope to see? So that's what I tried to make.
Very cool. Let's see here. 1 second. And we're going to make this work.
Yeah, so this is very unexpected, and we didn't plan it. So it'll go live on Wednesday, but I'm more than happy. Like, this is a live stream and all that stuff, so you'll be one of the first people to see it. I can't see who is here watching right now, but great.
All right. All right. Here we go. Let's do it.
And go.
All right, hold on a second. Did that work? I don't think that worked.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yep, I didn't click the right button. There we go.
Come on, let's get you to the lab.
I feel
Less talking, more walking, big guy.
Yeah. I should have never let you convinced me to go up there. We don't know that. What?
Don't worry about it.
What is?
Come on. Come on. I'm gonna go get the scanner.
Reed. What happened to my voice? Reed! What's happening to me? It's clobbering time.
I'm all in.
Yeah? You're all in? You think you got me beat, Logan?
I know I got you.
This guy, he says he's got me beat. Can you? He's got me beat. Okay? Well, if you think you got me beat, put him in the middle. Put him in. But before, well, you can't take it back because you already put it over the line. But before, okay. If I call you and you lose, you gotta promise me that you're not gonna do what you always do, okay? You're not gonna get mad. You're not gonna flip out. You're not gonna turn over the card table.
No promises.
No promises, this guy says. No promises. We're finally playing in a nice place. Second Talk Brewery let us play here after hours. For the first time, we're not in some crappy basement, okay? So if I put these down, you're not gonna do nothing stupid? Just nod or something. What'd you get?
Flush.
That's a good hand. That's a respectable hand, a flush. But it does not beat quads. Quads! I got you on the flop, baby. Look at, no!
That's so cool.
I love the fact that you worked in Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I love the whole dynamic between like him and all the characters that are like the big, huge dudes, like him, because he always has to fight him because he's the indestructible Wolverine. I have to say that watching you all watch that was a gift.
The thing is, I knew that it was coming, but the simple fact I could not wait for you to say it's clobbering time, and I was like, oh, yeah, that was, I don't know, yeah.
The giant stogie.
Exactly. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like that was incredible. I mean, the bringing the emotion to such an emotional character is impressive, and I love that.
Yeah, very cool.
It gave me chills when you were like almost in like a rageful scream, like a rageful, painful scream, like at the same time. Like I got chills listening to that, and then
that's
like,
borderline childbirth scream.
Yeah.
You should consider a web series between two ferns kind of thing, but with the Thing and then just like She-Hulk, like a cycling cast of like Marvel people.
That
That
would
would
be
be cool,
hilarious.
except that those prosthetics are gone. Like,
Oh yeah.
because when they come off you, they tear them off of your face because
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
because they have to like they use crazy like skin to prosthetic glue and it goes onto your face. So like this truly is like a one-time thing unless I commission the artist who isn't available until next July to do it again.
Oh wow. Okay.
Good for them. That's great.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm of
it
was a perfect storm of timing, I swear.
Mhm.
Like everybody was available when they needed to be, even the location. So we shot at a local place by where I live on Long Island in West Islip. It's called Secatog Brewery, which I gave their big like promotion at the end. But they were really incredible. They let me shoot in their space, and what's cool about a brewery is that it already looks like a science lab.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a science lab.
It is.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's happy science.
Yeah.
Hoppy science.
Hoppy science.
I see what you did there.
Still in the purest form.
Anyone came in a little late, wants to know what we're talking about. We're talking with Josh Schubart, who is the actor of the short film we just watched that'll come out on Wednesday. You'll be able to catch it on the YouTubes and things like that. But Josh has put that out, and he's been had a desire for a while to play Ben Grimm, the Thing, in the Fantastic Four, and he's trying to get this out to the Marvel folks for them to be able to see it. And we've had a hashtag for the last year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
About 2 years.
Yeah, Schubart's clobbering time. We're trying to get some exposure for Josh. We think he'd be a fantastic. We always thought he would be, and then he made this short film and really just knocked it out of the box there. So I'd love to see him on the big screen.
It's already, hasn't it?
It has been, because
I mean, the whole idea with this is that I've been trying to do it conventionally through the normal channels of the entertainment industry, and the whole idea is that like you book stuff that's great, and then you keep doing that, and then you'll get bigger and bigger opportunities, and that's true. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term being pinned. So being pinned means that like you're right on the cusp of being cast officially in a thing.
We'll blast the views, and we're going to share it. We'll share it to all our pages as well on Wednesday. So
I've been pinned in the past 2 years for a lot of really high profile stuff, and it's come down between me and someone else, and very fortunately for them, it's gone to the other person, and I'm just happy to be in consideration. So I took matters into my own hands and made this film.
Absolutely. All right, so cool. So we talked about that. We're excited for you, Josh, and we really hope this turns into something, and that somebody at Marvel, Kevin Feige, sees this and says, "Hey, we need to get him into a Marvel script and on the Marvel screens." Because I think in my mind, you are the perfect fit for this. You are the perfect pick for this, and I hope that they pin you for this. Yeah. So, and of course, there's
just pinned him.
He wants to be cast.
He wants to be cast. Yes.
Yeah. I'm still struggling with the time warp of we've been having this hashtag for 2 years.
Well,
that means your kid's 2. Like,
yeah, my kid's about to be 2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
2, yeah.
Yeah, because September is our 3rd anniversary of this show.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Where did the time go?
Right out the window is where it went.
Right out the window.
Yeah, your kid's gonna be 2. My kid will be 5 in September. What the heck?
Oh, shut up! Really?
Yeah.
They're so old. We are so old.
I know we're so old. We're gonna be like Tim. We're gonna be old.
I'm gonna be eating prunes soon, so I can poop. It's gonna be.
They're not as bad as you think.
As long as
anyway,
I love Tim catching strays. Like he had nothing to do with that conversation.
I'm just
real old.
I'm kind of used to it at this point. It's kind of what happens. They think it's fun.
I mean, prunes really aren't the grossest thing in the world. Prune juice is. Prune juice.
I hear you, Crusher.
Regularity is
Mine's turning
important.
16 in a month.
What? 16.
Yeah.
Ooh.
High
Yeah, I've
school.
got a 24-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 16-year-old. So
That's
yeah.
That's a lot of year olds, Tim. It's a lot of
Yes, it
year olds.
is. Yes, it is. It doesn't get. It's still weird when your kid says, "Hey, I'm gonna turn 21 in a couple days. You want to go buy me a beer?" Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
my mom's doing she actually the last time we were at my mom's house with I have 2 kids in their 40s. Like, yes, you do. You have 2 kids in their 40s and 2 in their 30s. Whoa. She's like, well, that's not even, how is that even possible? I'm like,
Very carefully.
But yeah, no, my brothers are both in their 40s, and my mom's like, no, I'm not old enough to have kids in their 40s. Nope.
So one of the other things we wanted to do tonight, Josh, is we wanted to talk about people that we thought we could fan cast around you and as the rest of the cast for the Fantastic Four. And if you have picks that you'd like to see, you think would be cool, please feel free to share them. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to go through some picks, and you can say what you think about them, or you can keep it yourself if you'd rather. Either or is fine. Okay.
I'm not good at keeping to myself, Tim. I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I know.
Super proud of mine.
Just wanted to put that. Just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah. If I wanted to not speak, I appreciate it, but I'm gonna speak.
Okay.
I am so super proud of mine, though. So,
All right, Nick, I have you on the docket to go first. Tell me who's your pick for Reed Richards.
So for Reed Richards, I kind of went with a slightly younger crowd, but I went with someone who has played smart people in the past, and I went with Josh Brenner.
Okay.
I think he could pull it off. I've not actually seen anything a little more serious of his, but I would like to see him in like a serious role to see what he could do.
I think the most serious role of his I've seen was the opening scene of the first episode of Last of Us.
Yeah, probably so.
How was
And
that?
that's like a 30-second long scene. Not even. But yeah.
How do you do there?
Really, really well.
Okay. So I think he could play off a serious smart guy. So,
Okay. All right, Sue Storm.
I actually picked Halia Jones. She was in Lock and Key. She's pretty good from what I've seen. Like,
She's a great actress. Yeah.
yeah. So I figured that would be fun. And then
Okay.
for Johnny, I chose Andrew Garfield. I think would be an interesting thing because we've seen him be the like cocky Spider-Man type, or
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like he made a good Spider-Man, and I think this would give him I don't know. He can kind of have that same like pizzazz that Johnny has.
I feel like that's a bad rap, man. Like I feel like Johnny gets this like he's kind of like a piece of crap, like pretty boy jerk, and it's like I don't know, like, but that's just how he's been in the movies. Like in the comic books, he's way more layered. But I think
Andrew Garfield could give him those layers as well. So
he's he's an incredible actor, and I think like if like you could like him playing layers of it's the same. It's not the same thing as Liam Hemsworth. Sure, I mean, okay. I mean, I don't disagree. I would challenge you in the sense that I'm sure Liam is capable of having a deep, rich emotional life, like a very deep one. Like most of these characters in the Fantastic Four have to deal with the fact that they have suddenly become monsters, right? Almost all of them do. They are they have changed at the molecular level, likely violently, likely unexpectedly, likely in a moment that is problematic and incredibly strange. And now they have to deal with the fact that they have these things, and they have to use them in a way that maybe not at first is positive, and they're trying to figure out how to work that out until all of a sudden they talk through it and they come to the realization that they need to work together for the greater good, right? So maybe I'm being a little too harsh on it because I want to see people that I've seen, like perhaps Andrew Garfield, that can portray such an incredible thing. The most emotional I've seen Liam Helmsworth be is get roundhouse kicked a knife into his chest by Jean-Claude Van Damme in The Incredibles 2. I mean, sorry, in the Expendables 2. And other than that, I've seen him laugh at his brother do a cold plunge challenge in a documentary.
I agree with everything Josh just said.
All right.
I hope no one cancels me for that.
You'll be fine. Did you have anybody pick for Silver Surfer?
I did. I picked Joe Keery. He was Steve on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think he would be able to kind of pull off that kind of like straight. I don't know. I feel like Silver Surfer is a very, I don't want to say monotone, but he's a very like even keel. That's a better word. Like an even keel character.
He's more serious because of what he's going through.
Right. And then Dr. Doom, I did Daniel Radcliffe. I've seen him as a villain in The Lost City, and he did pretty good as like the villain in that. So
I think he has the acting chops, but the stature, he's just a small human, so they'd have to do.
Yeah, he's only 5'5".
Yeah, that's my only concern. I agree with the acting wise, but like
they made hobbits and dwarves in Hollywood, so I don't think size is a.
That's true. The guy who plays Gimli is actually the tallest of the cast. So.
Totally fair, but like broad shoulders different than like
slender
framed Daniel Radcliffe.
I mean, I would say that with specifically Dr. Doom, it is an armor that he is wearing, so the broad shoulders could,
Yeah, you can hide it for sure.
I would take a great acting Doom over like a physical copy of what he is in the books, but I understand what you're saying, Justin.
And for Galactus, I did Lars Mikkelsen. I think he would be an amazing Galactus.
I do just like Mikkelsen.
He's just a fun bad guy.
He is.
All right. Cool. Jason, your thoughts on those?
Good.
What's your picks?
Oh, my picks. You want my picks?
Yeah, what are your picks?
So for Reed Richards, I went for a younger cast as well. I went with Jack Quaid. Still kind of an up-and-comer, but also we know that he can play some more complex characters. He was really great in Scream. He's been slowly popping into the scene more and more with each film. He's about to do a live action of his Lower Decks character on Strange New Worlds next season.
Yeah, Boimler.
Yep. Yeah, so I want to see more of him. Invisible Woman, I went with Emma Watson. I think the ages are fairly close between the two of them, that it's believable that they could be an item if they decide to go that route in the storytelling. For Johnny Storm, I went with two very different. I couldn't decide between two. One, because I'd really like to see this, just because I think it'd be different, and the guy I think can play a layered character. He was really, really good in Straight Outta Compton, and that's O'Shea Jackson, Little Ice Cube. I think he could be really, really good as Johnny Storm. And then my other pick for that role was Dave Franco, who I'm a big fan of. I think he's the more talented of the Franco crew, in my opinion. But yeah, those are my two picks but I'm leaning more towards O'Shea Jackson. He gets in a little bit of shape. I think he could knock that role out of the park.
All right, cool.
And then we're going for Oscars for the other three. So for Silver Surfer, I went with Riz Ahmed, who I fell in love with on the show the night of.
Yeah, fuck.
It's one of
the the bomb. No, the bomb.
Riz Ahmed, the night of is one of the best shows on television. It shows what happens to an innocent kid sent to prison during the duration of a trial and what prison can do to that person. he played it so well, and he's been great in everything he's been in, but he has yet to get to that level again, just because the material that he's been working with lately hasn't been of that level. And I think with Fantastic Four and him playing Silver Surfer, we could get there. For Galactus, Bryan Cranston, he's not in the MCU yet, which to me is a shame. And again, I'm going for the Oscar for these 3 final actors, and then Rami Malek as Dr. Doom.
Oh, that'd be cool. I could get behind that one.
Depends on which type of Doom. Like, are we talking about like Magic Doom, or are we talking about Science Doom?
I think Science Doom.
Yeah, I think Science Doom would be a good Rami Malek. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, that's who I'd go with, was those 3. Because I think they'd add gravitas to the project. And Marvel lacks in villains. I mean, there's some that are really, really good, but we need some powerhouses behind some of these villains. So I think those 3 would be my definite picks.
All right, very good.
And of course, Joshua Schubart as the Thing.
Absolutely. Well, we're casting around Josh for all of these, so
I think him and Lil Cube could have fun together on set.
There you go. That'd be fun to watch. All right, Kathleen, who you got?
Yeah. Okay. So with, of course, Josh being the Thing. So I went power couple for Reed Richards and Sue Storm. I went John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
I almost did that.
Because I feel like the glimpse that we got of John Krasinski as Reed Richards was very, very good. And I know that he and Emily Blunt have incredible chemistry together. So I think that would be very, very cool to see on screen. I went Joe Keery. So I took Steve from Stranger Things and put him into Johnny Storm's spot. Because I thought the interaction, again, with Sue and Johnny being siblings, I thought the interaction between Emily and Joe would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Kathleen, I almost went with John Krasinski and the actress who played Pam on The Office.
Oh, that would be awesome too. That would be great. For Silver Surfer, I actually went David Tennant.
Ooh.
Because I really, really feel like, especially after Kilgrave, like he could do it. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be scary and scary in like the best, like mind twisting way. Like I feel like you'd almost agree with him too much, and then you realize you were agreeing with him. But Galactus, I went Carl Urban, but again, I'm gonna go and put Carl Urban into like anything that I could put Carl Urban into.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then for Dr. Doom, I actually went Sam Witwer.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with that.
You know, Kendall, that's because your dad's kind of a jerk. Sorry about that. But hi, Kendall.
Yeah. No, I'm all for getting Sam Witwer into any role I can get him into. So, yeah, like that. Very good. All right, Justin, what about you?
Sure. So kicking off with Reed Richards, I was thinking Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I have not seen him in much recently, but I thought Inception and The Dark Knight and things like that, I think he could do a good job for Reed Richards. Susan Storm, I was thinking Anna Taylor-Joy. I've seen her, like The Menu was very good. She's done some, I forget the Viking film where she was kind of like a witch doctor in that. It was very, very good. She has a wide range. She has that chess show on Netflix.
Norseman.
Yeah, Norseman. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah. And then the Human Torch. I was thinking Reggie Jean Page. I think I butchered his name, but the main love interest in was it Edgerton or Berlin? The romantic show on Netflix. Bridgerton. I thought he would do a really, really good job as Human Torch.
Bridgerton.
Thank you. I watched the first season. It was great. He was great in it.
Bridgerton.
Yeah, Bridgerton. Sorry. Silver Surfer. I was thinking Cillian Murphy. He is just.
Oh yeah.
I think he'd be very, very good. I would put him in everything. But like Peaky Blinders and type of thing. Like if I can throw him into most things, I would.
Great actor.
Galactus. I was thinking Ron Perlman. I think he just has the voice for it. I think he would do great with it. And then Dr. Doom, Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, him in No Country for Old Men, just the calculating coldness of that, I think would do well as Dr. Doom. Because he's a scary, scary dude. He's like the scariest person I've seen in horror. To me, just because it seems so believable with his disconnectedness. It'd be fun.
All right. I like all your picks very much. Very good. I also had extra time today, so I playing show and tell. So here's my picks. Ta-da! All right. So after seeing him in the other Marvel movie,
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Thank you. My brain just went kaputs on me.
It's all right.
But
That's what happens when you get to your 70s. You're good.
Yeah. But anyway, after I saw him in that, I was like, yeah, I wasn't sure. I was kind of on the fence. As much as I like John Krasinski as an actor, and I think he is really good in a lot of different things, not just The Office, I thought, man, he actually pulled that off. He actually did really well with that, so I want to see more of him. So that's my pick as Reed Richards. For Sue Storm, I picked Malin Ackerman, which I've always thought she's a fantastic actress. If you watch the Watchmen, she was in that, and I think she does really well with the roles that she's given, and I think she'd be able to, especially because Kathleen mentioned the banter between the brother and sister. She's had a couple roles where she's had to banter back and forth, and I thought, boy, she'd do really good with that as well. She's done the superhero thing, but on the DC side, have her come over to Marvel and figure that out over there. For Johnny Storm, I've also picked Andrew Garfield, but it's for the reason being is that I picked him rather is that because I like his sarcasm and I like Johnny Storm's level of sarcasm, and I think that he would use it in the right way, not just for Johnny to be a jerk. I think the way that Chris Evans portrayed him in the other movies was not exactly on point. I think that Andrew Garfield would add depth, but then also have the ability to show the sarcasm that Johnny has, and I think that's kind of important. It is to me. And of course, then we've already talked about it, but we're going to have to get this guy in there, but of course, look how nice he cleans up. And then for Silver Surfer, I went with the if it's not broken, don't fix it. Doug Jones.
Yeah. No, that's my pick, actually. Doug is
amazing.
One of the most, for creature acting and just like acting in general, Doug brings such a humanity and loveliness to everything that he plays.
Yeah, agreed.
And, I don't know if you all are familiar with Greek mask work, but this guy is a master at it. So the whole idea is wearing a face that isn't your own and being able to project your inner emotions through a artificial artifice to an audience. I tried my best in this film, and I have taken classes and I've worked with prosthetics before, and this guy, Doug Jones, is a master actor in this regard. And this role with him, like just the whole backstory, how he's being controlled, how he's being blackmailed, and he has to do this work or else his entire family gets killed, his entire world gets eaten, like everything, like God, like talk about emotional life. I mean, look at him in Discovery, look at him playing like a similar character archetype, right? Anyway, sorry, it's a great choice.
Yeah. No, I looked at Doug Jones and I was like, you can't get any better than what he did. And out of the Silver Surfer movie, he was the bright spot out of that movie, because there was a lot of, it's not a bad movie. It's just, it's not great. The Silver Surfer movie, but I really thought that Doug Jones did so very well in that. And yeah, he is a wonderful human being. He's done so many cool things, this Star Trek, Hellboy, a bunch of other different stuff. Yeah, you guys need to check them out.
Well, they weren't superhero movies, right? Like, and I think that's the intrinsic problem with all the Fantastic Fours, maybe other than the original ones from the 1970s and the early 80s. They were not comic book films. They were archetypal. All the actors were playing towards their type that they've been normally cast in, and they were just like tried to play them as like science fiction-y action movies, which is
Right.
Right. Whereas like it's why Guardians of the Galaxy 3 works so well, in my opinion, is because we got another comic book film. We got the stakes, we got the villain, we got the arc, we got the progression, we got everything that we come to expect when we are going to sit down and watch a comic book. And that's how Marvel, in my opinion, has been very successful, is when they get closer to the source material, when they follow that epic arc and they take their time, they got winners.
Agreed. All right, for Galactus, I went with somebody else who I think is awesome. I call him a character actor, and that's, to me, being a character actor is one of the greatest things that you can be, because it means that you can do anything and everything. And this guy truly has been able to do anything and everything, and I think he would pull off Galactus really well, and that's Gary Oldman. I absolutely love Gary Oldman. I don't think that there's been a movie that I've seen him in where I was like, wow, I wonder why they cast Gary Oldman for that. Every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, I know why they cast him, because he's freaking awesome. That's why.
The collective sigh when you put up Gary Oldman was kind of fantastic.
Yeah, he's just such a good and powerful actor that, and of course this is, we need, we're not worrying about budgets or anything like that. This is a fan cast. This is what we would love to see. I would love to see something like that happen. And then one last one, of course, for Dr. Doom, I went with somebody that I've seen play a bad guy a couple times, and I think he just brings such a weight every time he's on the screen. Now, he's already been in a Marvel movie once, but his character's dead, and with the other, he looked completely different. His eyes weren't glowing, and won't be glowing in this one until he puts on the mask, and that's Idris Elba.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I really like Idris Elba, and I thought about it. Originally, I was like, I'm not going to have anybody that's already been in a Marvel movie. I want to bring somebody, who hasn't played another role somewhere in the Marvel universe. And I just kept coming back to Idris Elba, and I kept looking at him and going, man, he could really pull off this sophisticated, know-it-all pseudo-scientist, maniacal bad guy. I think he could really do it and do it well. And I just thought, yeah, that's my guy. So I kept coming back to him. But yeah, those right there are my picks.
I can totally see why you picked Idris Elba for that. It's just the role of Doctor Doom comes with a certain like gravitas and a certain weight that there aren't a lot of people in the conversation even like that can. I would say that like Sam Rockwell could also play a really good Doctor Doom. Not the same type, but totally like he throws himself into his characters in a way that is truly incredible to watch.
I actually thought of him, and if he hadn't have already been Justin Hammer.
I know.
And so that was the only thing kind of holding me back. And again, I was trying to get people who weren't already a Marvel character, and my only disclaimer for this one was that Heimdall's dead, so
right.
So
that was actually kind of why I went with Sam Witwer for Dr. Doom, was after watching him on Dexter and seeing him as a serial killer and the screen presence he had with that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like he could pull your attention for Dr. Doom really well.
I would love to see like Willem Dafoe as Doom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
He's not technically in the MCU at the moment. He's in the multiversal nostalgia stuff. But he would be a great Doom. Like just his commitment and the way that he just develops characters is super cool. I would like to see I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the dude that played Eddie in Stranger Things would be a great Johnny Storm.
He would.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I almost did him on my list. He was so close to making that cut. He was so good in Stranger Things. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like John Krasinski. I loved his portrayal. I do if you believe all the rumors, which is if I did, I would probably throw myself off a cliff. But I do like the Adam Driver choice, specifically for me playing the Thing, because of age difference and age, friendship and things of that nature. The current rumor that Margot Robbie's playing Sue, I think is a cool choice too. I do want like more variation in our industry, and I want more people to play more roles. I do like Emily Blunt a lot. Yeah, I see it. Fuck.
See, and I struggle with it because I love David Diggs, but no, just
No.
no.
So here's my problem. I have no problem with Margot Robbie being cast in all these different movies. I just think that I have a hard time with her being this character, over here in DC and this character over here in Marvel at the same time. And I know that it's acting and that you can be different characters at the same time. I totally get that. It's also the same reason I don't want to see Henry Cavill in Marvel and DC at the same time. And, some of these other guys, I like having that distinction that when because when I look at Josh, I want to say, yep, Josh is Ben Grimm. That's who it is. That's when I think of Iron Man, I want to think of RDJ. When I think of Harley Quinn, I think of Margot Robbie. I don't want to think of Margot Robbie. Yeah, that she's Harley Quinn and this.
When you think of Batman,
Michael Keaton.
But if you're an actor, aren't you actively fighting that? Because that being typecast as a certain character is probably bad for business, right?
Yeah. The term typecast versus being known for a character, like getting George Costanza certainly is a thing that nobody really wants, but at the same time, you make a lot of money and you can live the rest of your life in relative happiness, but then you have a hard time making anything that you don't produce yourself, which is what happened to Jason Alexander for a very, very long time.
Right.
I feel like the modernization of film and TV and the nostalgia effect is extremely real, like especially with our heroes, right? Like, or even with our villains. When we see a person that we really like in that role, like imagine if Heath Ledger was alive, right? He would most assuredly be in the MCU in some capacity, and I wonder if people would accept him in any other type of universe than him playing the Joker. And as an actor and as a, I would say you should, like, there's a beauty in being able to watch an artist go, right, and do these things that you love to see. And there's this I would say it's like a false equivalence with fairness, right? Like, it's not fair that they are Harley Quinn and they're also playing the Invisible Woman. How is that fair? And it's like, there's a lot so I talk about this with my wife a lot, right? There's like the way that the industry works, and there's the way that we maybe want the industry to work. And the industry works like, do you make money? Do people come and see you? Are you going to put asses in seats to watch this movie? Are they going to buy your action figure? Are they going to do all this stuff?
Right.
So it's a bunch of folks that are just looking at like a spreadsheet, like, yeah, they'll put the big amount of money, butts in seats, action figure, sell the DVD, they'll buy a hat that has your name on it, type of thing. But that also, in most cases, won't happen unless you have a lot of talent and you can play a lot of different types of roles. So it goes hand in hand with, you're there, people like you, you have the talent to keep going, and you can generate money for an industry that the like monetary end and the like executive part of it, that's all they care about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Josh, got one final question for you, and then we're going to start wrapping up here because we're a little over our time. But
sorry, that's usually what happens.
No, we love it. It's absolutely okay, buddy. Love having you on here, so we'll take it. But we have a question from one of the viewers. It says, do you agree with actors playing two characters in one movie, even if it's exhausting for them?
Yeah, I do. playing any type of character is exhausting. Playing two, depending on why it's happening. I mean, just a very like basic comedy example. The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
He tends, or like most Eddie Murphy films that he makes himself, he tends to play like 5 or 6 characters. I would say if it makes sense, if you can't tell that it's the same person, like a lot of times you can't tell that Mike Myers is playing like a bunch of different people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it's a specific and very artistically driven choice and things of that nature. Us being tired, we train extensively to be able to have the stamina to perform for multiple hours in a day. Like I've been on sets for 18 hours at a time every single day, six days in a row. And I specifically train and work out my body and prep myself in order to get to that place. And that's our job. That's our job, I suppose, is the short answer to that question.
Fair enough.
So that is,
All right.
I mean, that is what you get yourself into going into that industry. You know that going into it, that you're going to be exhausted, that you're going to have multiple hours in a chair doing prosthetics, multiple hours doing runs through, and then doing retakes. And it's just, I feel like most actors know that going into it.
Actually, no actors know that going in. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. No, I mean, the industry side of this and the artistic side of this are two wildly different things, and very rarely does a performing artist get taught about what it actually takes to be on a set or in a theater for 8 shows a week, or making a TV show or making a movie where you are so physically exhausted that you don't know how you're going to possibly do a authentic performance, but you have to because that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a thing that many of us unfortunately learn once we've left school. When I left school, it was very not good. Like, just I wrote a piece about this when I used to have like a blog about how entering the professional side of this industry was like walking on a sheet of ice, because you could never get your footing until you finally did, and you would likely fall constantly and crack your face and hurt yourself and sprain your ankles just trying to get to your first audition even, because you're not adequately prepped. But that's a whole other conversation, and that's not why we're here. But yeah, all that stuff that I just said.
Sorry, I know we're wrapping up, but one thing, would you say the hardest part of that is consistency? Because the way you talked about it is probably having the same kind of performance on Monday as Friday if you're doing 18 hours a day. And sorry, I know it's probably a tangent. Like,
No. One of the biggest lessons that you learn, this is particularly learned in school, is the ability to consistently give a performance over and over again. And it's to toe this line between consistency, believability, and being organic in the moment. So you want to be doing something that's brand new every time, but when it comes to camera, you don't want to be changing too much for the edit, because if you change a take every time, then it's terrible for the edit, and they can't edit around you, and it's a nightmare unless it is a specifically improv based production, which I've been a part of before. It's great fun, but even then you still have anchor points that you find for the edit so that you can edit around those specific points. So yeah, there's I would say that it's a multi-level. It's consistency, it's being in the moment, it's being real and alive, and it's being organic, and finding a true marriage of all of those things really makes a really great performance.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Very cool. Well, hey, before we get into our bit of our conclusion here, Josh, remind people where they can find you out on the interwebs.
Sure. So I'm on every social media that isn't Facebook as @Josh_Schubart. You can just, or you can just literally, I'm not trying to sound like a poopy pants, but if you just put Joshua Schubart into the Google machine, you'll find everything you need to find out on me. And all my social medias will pop up, but I also have a website, which is joshuaschubart.com, which will also bring in all my social medias. Yeah.
When in doubt, use the Googles.
Use the Google box.
Google is free. That's right. All right. And Jason, Justin, where can they find you guys over at Three Geeks?
Find us at Three Geeks Podcast everywhere you find podcasts. We're live Saturdays at 7 p.m. and we got some interviews coming down the pipe.
Ooh.
Very, very cool. Want to tease any of them? We'll let you go for it.
Go for it, Justin.
Tease me.
We got Mark Savage on Tuesday. We're going to talk movies. He's a director, and he's I forget his movie offhand, but it's Hell Come Before Us, something like that. But either way, it's gonna be a great conversation. We've interviewed an actor for that movie just last week, and it was a lot of fun. So I expect more of the same from that film.
And we have the director of Cocaine Shark coming out, which
I'm really excited for Cocaine Shark. A parody of Cocaine Bear, I believe.
There's a
It's gonna be a lot
Cocaine
of fun.
Shark coming out?
It's gonna be one of those sci-fi Sharknado type movies.
Are you serious?
And
There's a
it's
cocaine
gonna be
shark?
awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I have no idea. But it's gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be fun.
Oh
After
boy.
I talked to the writer of Sharknado, I am terrified.
I am.
Reach out to me. I'd love to collaborate.
Yeah. After having Thunder Levin from the Sharknado movies on, now I'm watching all the Sharknado movies just so I can see what silliness they get into and how many cameos I can count in a movie.
How many are there now? Like
There's a lot.
7.
Six,
There's like
seven.
I was
Some
making
would
a joke
say
about
too
9.
many.
That is a lot. 7 is a lot.
They have time travel in the last one, Tim. Have you gotten there yet?
I have not gotten to that
Have
one
they
yet,
fixed
but
the problem with duct tape yet?
No, Jaws is probably the best shark movie crusher, but there's something good about a bad sci-fi shark movie.
I like
they're so bad they're good. That's how I'll say it. They're so bad they're good.
I
And
like Meg. The Meg was fun.
And
I just want to see
Meg
a
coming.
shark gets cocaine in it. And that's
Yeah, Meg 2 looks awesome, Josh.
yeah, it does.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch Cocaine Shark. I don't really watch anything.
Oh, I'll be watching for sure.
I don't have any reason to, but I don't have any reason not to.
And that's why I'll be watching right there.
All right. Well, last Friday, we aired our interview with the voice of Captain Phasma of Star Wars Resistance and Lego Star Wars, Ellen Dubin. Ellen is also the voice of the Bene Gesserit in the 2021's Dune. 2021's Dune.
2021's Dune. It's not that hard to say, Nick. Just
You
go
know
with
what?
it.
2021's Dune. I don't even have the script in front of me.
She
You're
also
doing great.
2021
did the voice of the AI in Megan and a lot more. And we have a great time with Ellen as she opens up about her career and why she originally didn't like sci-fi.
Whoa, how could you
Is
not
she
like
going to
that?
be in 2023's Dune?
All she could say is she couldn't talk about it.
Well, then yes.
Well, probably.
Yes, she is.
So I'm going to go with yes. That's what I inferred from that, but yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, you guys can still find that episode up on our YouTube channel and your favorite audio podcast providers. And remember, your subscription to our YouTube channel is a major help. So please do not forget to click like and subscribe when you watch our videos. Pretty sure I say that in my sleep at this point.
You do, I'm sure. I think John said something about it the other day. So
I'm sure yeah.
all right, and this
Late
Friday,
podcasting.
we have this is Jamie Anderson. He is the son of the late great Jerry Anderson, who created shows like Thunderbirds and Space 1999. Jerry Anderson was an amazing sci-fi guy with marionettes and all the puppet work that he did and all these different things. But we have Jamie not on the show, not just to talk about his dad's legacy, but we also talk a lot about what Jamie does personally, because he's an amazing writer and director, and the path that he's carved out in the media world on his own. He does producing, writing, and directing for Big Finish Audio, who does a lot of work with Doctor Who. And they get all the Doctor Who original actors back in, and like Tom Baker still does some of the voice work, and there's some really cool stuff that they're doing over there at Big Finish Audio. And Jamie Anderson does a lot with with all of that and helping that come about. And so that will be out this upcoming Friday. Now, you could also just do what it says down at the notes down there below, and on Wednesday you could be enjoying that episode ahead of the rest of the world for as little as $3 a month.
That sounds great to me. That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
it's a steal. Someone said
it's a steal of a deal. Yeah, so at $3 a month, you get early access, and you get we got to schedule it, but we'll be having a Ask Me Anything coming up here shortly. And so the $1 and $3 levels, there's 5 different levels between $1 and $40, all with different rewards and things and all that kind of fun. So
much stuff we don't even remember what's up there.
Exactly. But yeah, so join our Patreon, have lots of fun. Look at all the bloopers, look at all the behind the scenes content, look at all the bonus content that you can't get anywhere else. And yeah.
Watch how our show is powered by ADHD.
And sometimes coffee and alcohol. Sometimes at the same time. So, and there's the truth.
Coffee.
Uppers and downs at the same time.
Is that a Celsius?
It's a Truly. So yeah.
The same.
They're so good.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. Jason, Justin, thank you for coming. And if you guys aren't already following Three Geeks Podcast, make sure you guys go follow them. Jason and Justin and Max are fantastic individuals. And say hi to Max, even though he's not here tonight because, he's not here. Anyway.
It was really nice to me the last time that I was there. So you should
for some reason,
follow
Max
them.
isn't here. We're not say why Max isn't here.
Hey, would you look at that? We're out of time. Goodbye.
Oh, no,
Forever.
talk forever.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of the FSF Podcast, we want to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, please contact us by means of Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FSF PopCast, or go to www.fsfpopcast.com and click on the contact link. Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed the episode.